Welcome to part 4. We're just waiting for Andy to join us. Andy? Are you there, mate?
Back in the room, yeah.
You are, mate?
I'm back in the room. How we doing?
All right, mate. Well done. Big Meech and Carl Froch, the Cobra, the legendary Cobra. What's gone on there and McCracken? What do you see were the reason for McCracken and him falling out? Where's it all gone wrong for Big Meech, Andy?
Big Meech is he can't take him, and he can't take it in the chin. I've seen this for a long time. Remember, he was calling Lennox Lewis a clown a way back. I mean, how disrespectful is that? Lennox Lewis is a legend at the British boxing game, isn't he? And or half Canadian, half British. But I couldn't believe it back then when Big Meech was. But I think Lennox Lewis was trying to give him advice, from what I remember, right, in good faith. But Big Meech thought he knew better. But it's maybe the same with McCracken. He thought Big Meech thinks he knows better, but Big Meech is wrong because when he's not listening to people, he's lost fights, isn't he? So, and I think Chisora came out, I think he was maybe tongue in cheek, saying that Froch is jealous of Joshua, but it should be the other way about, because I would say Froch has achieved more than Joshua, and he's got a far better resume than anything that Joshua's got, isn't he?
A lot of cynics can say that, yeah, Carl Froch has got a fantastic CV at £168. But a lot of them say, yeah, but he had to fight Pascal because for vacant belt, which were an hard one, wasn't it? Taylor, he had to go America. He had no choice. That were a mandatory. And then he were in that tournament, wasn't he? So he more or less had no choice but to have him. But I think he'd have had him anyway, even if there wasn't no tournament, me personally. Because he wouldn't have wanted to waste a camp and just fight a waste man. Because it's like there's no end product, you know, because he's that regimented.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's putting himself for all that effort. So what's the point in doing that if you're just going to fight somebody you're going to win it kind of thing? You know, at that level, you've got to test yourself, haven't you? I think
you need something that's going to motivate you. You need
Joshua's gone through choppy waters, hasn't he, with Eddie Hills and all the rest of them. They didn't fight Lewis Horses when they had him. We know the dance, don't we? They've not been in with Wilder or Fury. You know, there's 3 there. I dare say there's a few more. He don't seem to be calling out Ergovic. You know, and Eddie's got a piece of him, hasn't he? Why them 2 are getting at it?
I think Hergovic would turn them inside out at the moment.
Why don't he give Zhang a rematch from Olympics? I mean, they've got beef, haven't they? Beat Zhang, didn't he, at Olympics? That's all. There, you can make that, couldn't they? Surely, after Joyce fight.
What would Zhang do to him now?
Zhang, still enjoy Zhang is 40 odd, and he'd turn him into Peking duck. Right. He's roasting, Zhang had roasted, mate, wouldn't he? Come on.
Zhang's got a fast backhand, doesn't he? See, I was watching, I think it was Lawrence Nicoli, and his backhand was really slow. And you're watching Zhang, and it's just bang. It's rapid backhand, isn't it?
Do you know that Zhang? He makes southpaw. He's not like a fast mover southpaw. He's in pocket and throws and just moves his head side to side. It's pretty basic stuff what he does, but it's effective, isn't it?
Oh, basic but effective, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good fighter. I thought he beat Hergovic.
He's deceiving, isn't he? Oh, I thought he beat Hergovic as well. That was a robbery. I thought robbery. It was a strange fight for Hergovic. He kept turning his back away from him, didn't he, and walking away from him, and just a bizarre performance. But
do you remember Kala bigging him up Hergovic as like this like Godzilla type guy that's gonna kill us all in our beds at night? You know, like. Do you remember Frank Maloney bouncing about David Price? David Price, you know what I mean? He's the biggest puncher in the world. Remember Frank Maloney coming out with all that wobble? Hey, do you remember David Price? He's better than Klitschko. Dennis, I'm telling you, he's better than Klitschko.
They give Tony Thompson ruined David Price, didn't they?
Yeah.
They should never have taken that rematch. That was I don't know if he had an issue with burning up nervous energy. He was too tight when he was fighting. Compared to like Fury, he always fights loose and conserves his energy. People that fight tight using up nervous energy, it just drains them, doesn't it? That's
Yeah.
what it looked like for him. But they said he was a monster in the gym, David Price, didn't they?
Hey, listen, he put Big Meech on planet Saturn.
Oh, I heard that one, aye.
Smelling salt job for Big Meech. Pop, bang. Should we give the Stig a big shout out? Do you remember when the Stig used to come on?
A Stig, that's quite a while back, isn't
Stiggy.
it? Way back.
Stiggy
Yeah.
always gets excited around Wimbledon time because he lives in Wimbledon. I used to have an house in Wimbledon, actually, Stiggy.
Right.
He always gets excited at Wimbledon because his son's a tennis player, isn't he?
Ah, right, very good.
Yeah, so Stig gets excited when Wimbledon because he's been loads of times, hasn't he? He's you can imagine Stig at Wimbledon, couldn't you? With his blazer on and his ice cream and strawberries and that and champagne, couldn't you? Giving it the large one.
Strawberries and cream.
But that's just up Stig Street, that mixing with the glitterati. Big shout out to the Stig. Pop bang. When's your Porky's return, Stig? We're going to be doing 4-man Zooms if you're up for it, Stig.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The Stig on a 4-man Zoom. Oh, you'd have to do it with Terry, wouldn't it? It's his big hero. Terry, Rico, and Julian would have to be with Stig. Yeah, he loves Terry and Rico. Do you think that this Derek James can give him a game plan to get Dillian Whyte out of the way and put Dillian Whyte back where he belongs?
He needs to make a statement in this fight. I mean, the Franklin fight was. I thought Franklin was all wrong for him before he had that fight because he was short and had fast hands and he was durable.
Yeah.
You should have seen that in the White fight, shouldn't he? Or his trainer should have seen that. It was probably a bad move taking that fight because it didn't look good at all. He could have looked better against somebody and it would have probably boosted his confidence, even a slightly lower level. Somebody would have boosted his confidence better. That's what he's needing, isn't it? He's needing a confidence booster. But I think he's got more in the tank than Dillian Whyte has. So it's probably a good fight for him. And he's familiar with him. So if he can't get Whyte out of the way. White's a big, strong guy, though, isn't he? So he's got to be.
Listen, Dillian Whyte could pull it off, but from what I've seen in his last 2 performances, I think he's gone as far as he can go, basically. You know, yeah. And I'm not having a go at him because he's a tough bloke and he's got a world class left hook, but that you need a bit more than that, don't you, at this level?
Nah, his feet are too slow, aren't they? And
well, you know them statistics, the Dillian Whyte statistics, right? He's throwing 30% less punches per round, and he's been in decline now for 4 or 5 fights. He's not throwing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? No. Taking time off, and he was having breathers constant. He had about 5 breathers in that fight against Franklin. It should be 1 breather if you're going to have one. And you wait for your second win, 2 at most, not 5. Taking rounds off like that to get your breath back. They're not fit.
No, and he's too heavy, isn't he?
That's as a pig, Michelin man.
Yeah. It's no use. He's not taking it seriously enough, then, is he? But,
well, they don't need to when they're getting that kind of dough, do they?
The hunger's gone, isn't it? You get too much money.
There you go. The hunger's gone. What sort of men want a bit heavyweight champ and they're getting in ring like that? Hey?
They need to have Usyk's discipline. I think
heavyweight champ should look like Vladimir, in shape all year round.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, even
Bunny, you know my mate Bunny. Do you know my mate Bunny? He always used to say to me, "Heavyweight champ should be looking the business." You know, he always saw Tyson in shape, didn't you?
Yeah, everybody should look up to him. Yeah, Tyson's weight was always consistent, wasn't it? He was around about 15.10, 15.5, 15.10. He was always in his earlier career. Well, even when he was later on when he fought, he was always just under 16 stone. I think when he was fairly disciplined. Muhammad Ali's weight used to float about a bit, didn't he? He came into a few fights. Maybe fights he couldn't get up for him, but
when you've got millions in bank and you've got a Rolls Royce, it's hard to get out of bed in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah, was it Marvin Hagler said something about satin bed
Hagler
sheets?
said that, but I've heard Ali say something similar. He said, I've got a Rolls Royce outside, big mansion. Everybody's inviting me to parties. Jim Brown invited me to one, and it's so hard. Do you know what I mean? To not go and that. And you can imagine when you're that a celebrity like that. Like David A, he likes all that kind of carry on, but he had a knock-on effect with his career because it took years off his career, didn't it? Because he's a Twitch fighter, wasn't he? And once that went, he didn't really have much, did he, on his power?
Yeah.
Whereas before, he had the power, and you couldn't nail him, could you? Hard to nail, wasn't he, David A?
Yeah,
that's why he was so excited, wasn't he?
Good movement, that, didn't he? And he's quick, and he's even remember watching him in the amateurs. He was exciting to watch. But I don't know if he overtrained a lot of the time as well. He was always picking up injuries, wasn't he? Major injuries. But that could have been doing overtraining, I suppose. But then he must have been dedicated at that point. But like you say, he liked the glitz and glamour, so that could.
Do you think he'll come back, Anthony?
David Hay? Nah, I don't think so. No, now. Unless he's, he might pop up in the Misfits in 5 years' time or something like that. But but that's, to me, that's ruining boxing. There's all these YouTubers and or influencers and that getting paid more money than proper boxers. It's a joke, isn't it? It's a joke.
What do you think to Callum's role in all that? Callum Montana.
How's he getting away with that when there's other people being penalised for, like, boxing board of control penalising? Have they not penalised trainers and that?
He'll have brother on boxing board of control one, won't he? And all be in his name, won't he? He's just his mate.
Stitch up.
Oh, do we want? Could you imagine going to a show and having to sit next to Big John Fury, aka Tarzan, and Callum Montana? Can you imagine? Callum there gurning and Big John there with eyes peeled looking round.
Daunting prospect.
Hey, what about Callum other week on IFL going on about on the hard road? Here, Dale, do you remember when you were telling me about Callum on the hard road? He's going on hard road now. Tottenham fan.
He's joining Big John's club.
Do you know what? You could make a good comedy show, couldn't you, on YouTube?
Big sitcom, A sitcom. You could
have a comedy show, couldn't you, on YouTube? With all the characters in boxing. Give everybody a nickname, couldn't you? Like I do. I give them all a nickname, don't I? Because that's what. Because we're trying to make it a bit funny, aren't we? We're trying to make it. Yeah, we have to get serious when we get serious because people take liberties. We have to defend our corner, don't we? But on the whole, I try and make it a bit funny. That's all. Do you know what I mean? All you can do in it.
Laughter's the best medicine, isn't it? Makes the world go round.
Well, I like to have a laugh. I like to think I'm funny. You've got to have a laugh, haven't you?
Oh, you've got to have a laugh.
What do you think is going to happen with Roberto at the board? Do you think that he's going to resign?
He needs to. He needs to get out of there, doesn't he? How long has he been there now? He's been there too long, hasn't he? However long he's been there, but it's it's disappointing, isn't it? Simon Jordan's made a lot of noise about it, hasn't he? But has he made enough noise? He could make more noise. We'll wait and see. He's kind of bored a bit.
I'm a Simon Jordan fan, but he lets Bricktop off the hook, and he doesn't Eddie. He's on Eddie's back, isn't he? Which is good, but he's got to be on Bricktop's back. He can't be backing off. I mean, the Gad was silent in that interview, wasn't he?
Oh, he was terrified, wasn't he? He was looking for the baby wipes. I think.
The Gad, you're arseless.
He was looking for a fresh nappy, wasn't he?
But like Joshua when he was told he might have to fight Usyk a third time. I mean, do you know Joshua coming out with that? It's in bad taste what he's done for McCracken there, isn't it?
Nah.
Hey?
That's disappointing, isn't it? He's a grown man, isn't he? He's behaving.
Well, it's in bad taste, in my opinion. Considering
McCracken was good for him, isn't he?
Nick, then he got him out at Nick.
Yeah. He's maybe got a short memory, Joshua, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, somebody's in his ear, all aren't they? I mean, he's surrounded by dossers. They'd be selling crack, wouldn't they, in Watford if he weren't a boxer? You know what I mean? So all these people in his ear rolling up his arsehole, it's no good, is it?
Too many hangers on, eh? Too many Klingons.
Too many, isn't there? Too many cooks spoil the broth. And if it don't work with Derek James, what then? Is it going to go to Don Charles? Well, you won't put it past. You won't put it past him doing that or going to another trainer, would you?
Nah, that's right. That's it. He's a musical trainers at the moment, isn't he? That's who next. That's it.
It's something, isn't it?
But, I mean, once the big paychecks stop rolling in, all these Klingons will just fall off, won't they? They'll disappear. The leeches, they'll bleed them.
Yeah, it's not good.
Bleed them dry.
It's not good. But
Muhammad Ali had a big entourage as well, didn't he? Way back in the day, he had a big.
They all want feeding and watering these entourages and putting up and tracksuits and all that and perks. You know, they're all. Listen, my opinion is this: a boxer needs his trainer, and for the first 3 years, his trainer should manage him. Then the boxer can make his own decisions, can't he, with his family? That's the best way. You don't need all these other people, because when the trainer's not there, these other people, that's when they make the moves.
Yeah.
See where I'm coming from? And if they can't get to the fighter, they'll get into the people nearest to the fighter. And what they do, they drop hints here and there and stuff like that. Before you know where you are, you've got other trainers putting spoken and people in their ears. It's terrible for it. So everybody's an expert. That's why it's the merry-go-round with fighters going to different trainers, because people are in their ear holes. The fighters just want to fight, don't they?
And probably a lot of the best. Well, it's worked for Fury going to different trainers, isn't it? He's probably learned different things from. But then he's a kind of one-off, isn't it? He's gonna.
Well, he's had his late uncle who passed away, Peter's brother, Huey. He's had Peter. He's had Robert McCracken. He's had Peter. He had Huey twice, but Huey, Peter, Robert McCracken, Ben Davidson. Who was that other one? Sugar Hill. Five trainers had it, Tyson. About 5, isn't it?
He's a kind of one-off though. He's like Mr. Adaptable. He can do any style, can't he? And he's probably picked all these things up from all the different training styles and that, isn't he? But not everybody's like him. I mean, Joshua is one.
Do you know Knight Rider in 80s? Now, I'm an 80s kid, me, right? Knight Rider in 80s. They were like advanced one, an advanced car. If you're a young kid, it's better than a Ford Capri in it. So you look at the Knight Rider car, and you think Tyson, don't you? He's a bit more advanced than everybody else in it. You know, in his brain.
He's a step ahead of the game, isn't he?
You see what he does well. You see, do you know when he's in pocket and they're throwing punches at him, they're missing by 2 centimeters at times. He must feel them come near him. But you know, as you get older, them 2 centimeters, it gets small at margins. Do you know what I mean? You know, like Ali when he used to do that lean back thing. And nobody could aim him in 60s, could they? They couldn't fathom him, could they? When he got to the 70s, he kept getting caught, didn't he? Do you know what I mean?
I remember Chris Eubank Senior saying that when he retired, and he was only 32, I think, when he retired. But he'd noticed the punches he was normally slipping or catching them, just split-second difference. It was just enough to catch him. He must have noticed that. I remember him talking about that at the time. And
it's not the fighter's fault, because he's thinking, what's going on? It's Father Time, that's all it is. It's Father Time, and it catches up on you. And if you're having periods out where you're not looking after yourself, it'll catch up with you quicker. You know, like Bernard Hopkins, he were very, very professional, wasn't he?
He lived the life. I remember him seeing him interviewed. He doesn't eat sugar or anything. It was just he just lived so clean. It was, and it worked obviously, didn't it? He was still a champion at 50 or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. He was a great fighter, all-time great. But he had longevity, didn't he? And heavyweight should have longevity a lot longer than the smaller guys. But they're not, not looking after them. Vladimir was still doing the bits. He pushed Joshua all the way, nearly 42-year-old, didn't he? Because he had longevity. Could you see Tyson doing that in 8 years? 8 years from now, right? Can you see Tyson? He might have only had 8 fights then, but could you see Tyson doing that like Vladimir?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
He's just. Do you think he's already caught up and he's now just trying to mop all crumbs up?
Depending on his style, he could adapt his style further to. It's difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, Big George Foreman came back. The only downside I felt to George Foreman coming back, because other people seen him doing it and thought they could do it. You know, coming back in their 40s, and was it Greg Page? Did he get injured? Did he get a brain injury? He'd come back in his 40s, but a lot of folk probably didn't appreciate how hard George Foreman trained. I remember Angelo Dundee saying nobody trains as hard as Big George. He's out pulling trucks with a harness on and all mad stuff, eh? But he didn't always look. He always looked a wee bit tubby, but he made a joke about that, didn't he? A lot of the time, but anybody who fought him said he was probably the strongest fighter they fought. I think Holyfield said that, didn't he? But he was a one-off as well, George Foreman, right?
Big George.
Yeah.
What would you say is hardest puncher ever, Andy? Top 5 hardest punchers of all time, you know, across the board. Not just heavyweights, across the board. Big, massive punchers across the board.
Probably Tommy Hearns would be one, wouldn't he? Ernie Shavers was a great puncher, wasn't he?
Liston.
Sonny Liston was a heavy puncher.
Foreman.
Big George Foreman.
Edwin Villario.
Yeah. Is he the guy that died?
27 by way of 100%.
Did he die young, didn't he?
Hey?
Did he die young, didn't he? Something happened to him. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Carlos Monzon, was he a big puncher as well, was he?
Yeah. Hagler.
Right. Hagler, yeah. Hagler and Hearns was a good variety in the 70s, wasn't there? A lot to choose from there.
Ron Lyle.
Ron Lyle, yeah, he was a mega puncher as well. Jack Dempsey.
Yeah.
Marciano was a good puncher too. I remember watching a fight with Jack Dempsey, and who was it? George Caponte, was it? Did he drop him? He would come up from middleweight or something like that, and he'd drop him, and I think it was Dempsey, and Dempsey got up and dropped him, and then you seen him brushing the guy's teeth out off his glove. I reckon he knocked his teeth out. He felt humiliated being dropped, so he got up and just. I don't know whether he'd been messing about before that, and found himself getting dropped. Thinking the guy's smaller, he can't hurt him, sort of thing. But that was. I remember I had a collection of videos. You know, it was called Boxers. I don't know if you remember. You maybe had it yourself. And there was all these old fights. I think the first episode was Muhammad Ali and then Mike Tyson. And there was all these old ones like Rocky Graziano and might have been Henry Armstrong. All these old kind of old school fighters. I give the collection away just before I moved house. Actually, I give it a guy that still had a video recorder.
Yeah, it's mad that Lee McGregor's got beat only by Robles for IBO.
I've got that on now on the volume down. But on points, Steve Gray refereeing, eh?
Maxi Hughes fights combo so tomorrow.
Is he?
Yeah. In Oklahoma on a Lou DeBella show. Blue Lou.
Blue
Lou. with his pet pig, bless him. He loves pigs. So I like
pigs,
Hey?
He loves pigs.
Blue Lou is a lovely bloke. He owns 2 baseball teams, isn't he? You know?
Does he?
Proper sports fan, isn't he?
Is that the guy Eddie was rubbing up the wrong way a while back?
They're always at it, aren't they? If Eddie rung him tomorrow and said, Blue Lou, we're going to put a show on. They work together because it's business, isn't it? But it means they have to get on, does it?
Didn't hate like folk to work with them, eh? That's just as long as you can get along. That's
what amazes me is right when they work together. There's that much bad blood, and then when they work together, it's like high fiving. It's
so you're hypocritical, isn't it? But
it's like the enemy. It's not like falling out with your colleague, is it? At home,
no.
In England, it's like it's somebody in another country and high fiving. I'm like, is Eddie going to high five Leonard Ellaby after all that? I don't know.
And it's a different culture. The Americans don't get our humour, do they? Don't get British humour.
What do you think to that Leonard Ellaby? What do you think to him?
I don't know a lot about him. I know who he is. I know what he looks like and that, but I don't know.
You would like to think you were sharing a Grammit toilet with him, would you? Pop. Hey?
He's got big nostrils, hasn't he? Yeah.
There'd be no left if Lenny got his rolled up note in your bag. What do you think to Mayweather with that fight with John Gotti? What did you think to all that, Junior?
It's a mess. I mean, Is Mayweather even drawing crowds? And did they not fight over here against who was the guy fought over here? And the place was half empty. For somebody with his name and profile, it was. As people forgot about him now, or forgetting about him. Is he trying to remain relevant? But no, that was just a. I didn't watch the fight. I seen the ruckus at the end of it, but did the guy get disqualified for holding or something?
Oh, no, it's a mess, isn't it?
Just
Do you remember Scott Harrison from up your way? What's he up to now?
I don't know what he's up to now. He was a good fighter, Scott Harrison.
Yeah, he had a great
Tough
crowd
guy,
behind him, didn't he, back in the day?
I went to see him twice, I think, through at Braehead Arena in Glasgow, 4 years ago now. But he got himself in a lot of trouble, didn't he? So, and I think he did have a fight. Might have been late 30s by that time. He must be mid 40s now, I would think. He was always matched tough. His dad trained him, and he was always matched tough early on. I remember, I think his 10th fight, he fought Tracy Harris Patterson at Madison Square Garden and beat him there. He had a good grounding, didn't he, to start with?
Did Turo Gassi fight him?
No, I don't. No, that I remember. No.
Oh,
No.
I think he was lighter, Tracy Patterson. Tracy Patterson, did he?
Oh, maybe fought him. Yeah. He probably fought him. He was Tracy Harris Patterson probably fought Gatti before he fought Scott Harrison. I would say he was maybe at the right time, eh?
You know, that guy who beat McGregor's ranked 57 in world. So
Well,
McGregor's not going to go anywhere, is he? You are?
Second the guy that beat him, eh?
Well, the guy that beat McGregor is ranked 57 in world and boxer size Ben, and can't be happy, can he?
No, it's going to have to do a serious regroup for that, isn't it? But yeah. And Elsie, I think he lost his title to Manuel Medina, didn't he? Scott Harrison, and then beat him in the rematch. I went to see the rematch through in Glasgow, but he was another guy that was trained by his dad, Harrison. I think his dad trained Alex Arthur for a time as well, from what I remember.
Do you think they'll give Ben Davidson some stick because McGregor lost?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, he's learning his craft, isn't he? So we'll leave him alone there, boxer size Ben. Give him enough stick, haven't we?
I think
he's not been piping up as much as he, so he's all right now.
No, he's gone quiet online, hasn't he? So he's maybe knuckling down. If
they'd have won tonight, he'd have been unbearable on IFL tomorrow. They would have had Sunday sermon, Monday mass, the Wednesday wank. It'd have been a whole bit going, wouldn't it? Eh?
Overkill, eh?
Eh?
It was going to be overkill, wouldn't it? An overdrive. It'd just be every time you switch YouTube on, he'd be there, wouldn't he?
Pop, bang. Well, listen, kid, I'm going to get off because I'm up at 6 with my dogs and I'm training tomorrow. Light weights, very light. It's hard work, isn't it, when you get to our age, kid, isn't it? Light weights.
Yeah.
Even half an hour on your own, you feel it, don't you, day after?
Yeah, and you need more sleep, I think.
I think I do. Like, I'm like, I'll nod off at 1, up at 6. I'm a 5-hour man, me. I saw this program on internet and it said, I need to get more out of my day, I think. And it said if you need more hours, go to bed earlier, which I don't know, but get up early. So I like to get a lot done before like 10. You know what I mean? It's amazing what I can get done in them hours, you see. But in sometimes in the day, if you're getting up at 9, you can't, can you? Because you get sidetracked. No? So I get up early and I get more done. You see, it sets me up. Day.
You don't want to waste the day. I think when you get older, time becomes more valuable. So
yeah. No, you laid in bed. In prison. You laid in bed stinking all day. I'm a master of that because I used to say to myself, right, if I could sleep 16 hours, I'm doing less time because all you've got in your head is numbers and calendars and barking days off wall, all that shite. So I used to try to sleep as much as I could. Kind of thing. Read and do training your pad and just try and sleep all the time. So that's any advice to anybody who's going to court and you think you're going to get plenty. Try and sleep as much as you can. Train as hard as you can in yourself. Do your hour exercise a day. And read. So that's on the advice I can give. Or just be good. Stay out of trouble. Pop, bang.
Keep your head down.
Keep your head down. All right then, Andy. Listen, you take care. God bless.
You too, Russ. Take care.
All right, my friend.
All the best.
Peace out.
Cheers, pal.
Bye.
Bye.